Well, speaking of the people attending the event, give me a profile. Give me a profile of the person that is going to benefit most from attending your conference. If someone has only $150, why would somebody go to the Bay Area Producers Conference as opposed to another conference? In fact, there are many people who attend conferences on a regular basis, so what would still be the distinction?
Just within the Bay Area itself, we didn't know that many people, especially myself. So I felt like doing something in the Bay Area that would bring the people together in the music industry, and including myself. I felt like that was important for us to do that in order to grow as musicians and as a business person.
What are some of the obstacles that you were faced with that enabled you to grow?
Putting together a conference in a time where people are struggling to make money, trying to bring all these people together, and having a very positive, successful event.
So the challenge of bringing people together
Yeah.
was the biggest obstacle. And so, Mark, what would be the real benefit of having a conference such as this?
Thank you. Well, I'm going to relate that to the history a little bit too, if I could. I want to jump in on the history because it relates to your question. Our original intention when Gabe and I started our studio, the intention was really to not just make it about Gabe's music or my music, but really to get a lot of people involved in the Bay Area as a community. So I think that that's been a driving force, and when we met Mario, he was all about that vision of like, we want people to connect and really be educated about how to be successful. And Gabe and I, we're family, we love each other, we're all about family. So when we met Mario, he's, just like a brother to us. I mean, he's a family member. And that's how we wanted to make the conference. And so I think the biggest benefit for the conference is that it's family. We really want to get to know everybody who attends, whether they're presenting or just a participant. We really want to help people be successful. And as you know, nobody's going to make it to the top in any industry, let alone the music industry, unless they have a team behind them.
Right, so from a community perspective, it sounds to me like there's a strong emphasis on the communal activities and keeping it intimate.
Yeah.
So, Gabe, you're the spokesperson. Would you say that that's been one of the selling points of the Bay Area Producers Conference and all of the media and outreach that you've done?
Yeah, absolutely. I think like you're talking about, the intimate part of it, we're able to maintain that even as it's growing. So we offer things like opportunities to sit down one-on-one with A&Rs, where these guys are the gatekeepers to the industry. So as like a young producer or a young artist, that's who you want to talk to. And so we create opportunities. Even though there's all this stuff going around, they're going on, around the conference. They have opportunities to talk to these guys one-on-one, and then we have events leading up to the conference where they're sort of these mixers where people get a chance to network. And the idea is to keep that community going, not just once a year, but to keep it going, online, keep it going through these events, and really have people, know each other and create a community.
Thankfully, we've always had successful conferences without too much trouble. A lot of times in the Bay Area, there's always a lot of violence associated with either conferences, shows, concerts, anything that's usually put on in the Bay Area. But we've been fortunate enough to have a successful show every year where we don't have many problems. And I think a lot of that is due to just the planning before the execution, basically. The whole team's here. We meet several times a month. We put everything together, and on the day of, we just try to execute and make sure, everything goes off without a hitch.
So with that, would you guys consider that to be another selling point as well?
Yeah, definitely. The team is a huge part of this. We have people doing, a little bit of everything. We have marketing people who, reach out and make connections for us. We got the PR people, promotions people. Everybody's just continually working and trying to make things better.
quality is getting better. And can it get better than that? Yes. So I think that's where we need to work on, just making sure, and the networking aspect of it is huge. You know, that's something that, you know, we got a lot of feedback from people who attend the conference, you know, and people do pay to come and network with people they want to work with. I think that's something that we still got to get better at, you know, making sure that we have all these networking events throughout the year, not only for the conference like they were saying. So I think that there's plenty of room to grow, you know, and those are areas that I feel like, you know, in terms of the conference being more successful is just having quality people that come and speak to these guys, you know, and that's gonna drive people to come and want to see these panels and sit down for an hour or two, and then just a networking opportunity to be able to collaborate with people that you want to work with.
What type of feedback are you getting from your attendees?
My name's Michaela, and I sat down with Michael Denton. He is a studio engineer, and what I learned was the relationship between a producer and a studio engineer, and when it's the engineer's time to step in and when it's time for them to step away.
I've been doing post-production for, about 6 years. So basically picture editing, sound editing, all that fun jazz. But no, I'd say the conference was really solid. I saw a lot of films that I've been hoping to see for the past 6 months, since a lot of my friends were working both in production and above the line. And so they've been talking about it again and again. So I finally was able to come here and see it. So there's a lot of cutting edge stuff. And really, it was just totally solid, especially with the Q&A. I mean, really in-depth questions that covered everything from post to pre and all the troubles that come within that. So really, I would highly recommend coming out. It's a great thing. Come join us.
I've been making beats for about 5 years, but seriously, since right before the first conference started, that's when I started getting serious. And after the first conference, I got a lot of knowledge from the first conference, and it kicked me into gear. And so that whole year, building up to the second conference, I was preparing, making myself better, upping my musicianship, and you just kept on putting in work until I got to that level where now I'm getting really serious with my production and my sound is getting way better. So it's a lot of it's thanks to the conference for getting me and kicking me into shape, basically telling me what to do, getting me pumped up to do this, you know. So shout out to the conference. It really helped me out.
Someone comes to you and says, I'm going to give you a blank check, and you can go ahead and use it for any purpose that you choose to make your conference as successful as you ever imagined it being. How would you use it?
I have one idea.
Go ahead.
Which is that, you know, one of the biggest things that I think maybe we struggle with, or at least that we are working on, is just awareness for the conference. You know, like I was saying before, the feedback for the conference has been, you know, overwhelmingly good. Of course, there's always ways to improve. And, you know, the way Mario works is like, every year we're like, okay, we did it. Now we kind of know how to do things, and then next year he's got a whole new thing. You know, so the conference has not only got great feedback, but always constantly improving. I think the first thing I could think of is just making more people aware of it and just letting them know. Because once they come, they love it. They want to keep coming back. So that's the first thing.
Yeah, definitely. We'll piggyback off that, and basically, like, we promote a lot, but at the same time, there's no way that we promote enough. A lot of people who come to the conference now, compared to the first year, are coming because they've heard about it from other people who've already attended. And when people come to the conference, they come hungry, and they leave completely satisfied because there's a value to the conference.
And I want to mention something too, kind of going back a little bit about the job that Jamie does and Mario does to the organization and the way it comes off is, you know, I've heard from our panelists too. These are guys that go to these kind of conferences all the time, saying that this was the best run conference they've ever been to, and I've heard that more than once. So I definitely would say that is another selling point from both people's perspective, because these panelists, they want to come back, you know, and then of course having a smooth conference makes it, you know, a better experience for the attendees and for everybody.
It comes down to where's the money going to go. It's about what Gabe was saying. It's all about awareness. So money is needed you know, to get the word out there, but not just for attendees, because like Jamie's saying and Gabe's saying, we have a great event. We're really highly organized. This is not fly by night. We have certain things already nailed. But people don't know about us, and by that I'm not just saying people who want to attend as participants, but sponsorship. We want to make this such a national event, and right now we're so Bay Area, and we know that we keep that family feel, so the money would really be going towards a lot of PR. Again, not just for participants, but for sponsors, people who would want to be associated with what we do, because it's all about branding, as we know in any business, and we feel like there should be sponsors who should be part of our event, but they don't even know about us yet. And yes, we do a great job bringing in the best producers, the best A&R people, all the people on the panels. These guys do a great job doing that. But if we had the money that we could fly in, you know, national people and really bring even greater people, national people. When I say greater, I don't mean greater than the ones we already have. We have great people, but greater reach is what I meant.
Right.
That would really take us to the next level. That's where the money would go, bringing in higher quality sponsors, higher quality presenters, and then of course promoting it, because there should be no shortage of people attending this event. It's really a unique event.